Hello everyone and welcome to today's Expert Talk with our two experts, Paula Radcliffe and Coach Aaron from Nike. This is hosted by Nike and Top4running, and we will be discussing last night's results and a short preview about tonight's finals. Maybe we can start, Paula, with last night's long jump final with an outcome that was really amazing in terms of mental strength from Tentoglou.
Yeah, I think to be tied for so long on 850 and so many attempts, and then what was fascinating for me was, yes, that competitive side that can just pull out a big jump on the final jump, but to know immediately that you've jumped 2 centimeters further, that was really impressive too, because it was like he knew and people who knew long jump knew, but the rest of us are still watching thinking, well, that could still be around about the same. But yeah, to be able to do that, I think added to a phenomenal night in the stadium.
How did you feel about Tentoglou's mental side of things last night, Aaron?
I would say he showed a lot of mental strength. It was very funny because in the stadium it was dead silent when he jumped. He landed, everyone was still waiting, looking at the screen. He was like, okay, calm down. And then we saw the 852, was it 852 or 852 on there? And the whole stadium ended up going crazy. Everyone was like screaming, shouting, jumping, some people were hugging. So it was a great time to see the long jump be so exciting. And then the Jamaicans as well to go again for the next try, to try get close. It was a shame they came second, third and fourth, but it was still good to see this happen in that last jump. So you had the excitement from the beginning all the way to the end.
And what's impressive also is that Tentoglou did it twice at the Tokyo Olympics. He was also waiting kind of for the, or not waiting, but he also succeeded winning his gold medal at the last attempt. So yeah, very impressive from him. We also had the 5,000 meters, the heats for the men. And there we had Jakob Ingebrigtsen, Mo Katir, Paul Chilimo, many great names. What was maybe the athlete that looked best to you, Paula, or how would you describe the two different heats?
I think the two heats, I guess on paper weren't that balanced. I think I counted there were 10 sub 30-minute performers, not all this year, but on personal best in the first heat and only 5 in the second heat. And now that they've changed the qualifying conditions, I think that's been interesting, these championships, to watch that unfold, because it takes away the advantage from the second heat that you used to have in terms of being able to push the pace faster and try and get the fastest qualifiers from that heat. And the difference between the male and the female way of racing that was very interesting, because you had the women's heats, which were the night before, where the young, exciting young Latvian Agata Kana went out way ahead of the rest of the field, didn't end up winning, but certainly qualified herself for the final and ran a personal best. And then Sifan has done largely doing all the work to try and maybe take the sting tactically, trying to plan ahead for the final out of Faith Kipyegon, but a 14:32 on the women's side. And then it was only a minute or so faster on the men's side last night. So completely different races. They really kept it slow and tactical for the first at least 3K of the races last night. And then it was a burnout. And I think it was interesting seeing who had placed themselves in the right positions, because Paul Chilimo left it very late. In the end, charged down the straight, knocked out a few people who probably even 20 meters from the line were thinking they had qualified. Whereas somebody like Luis Grijalva, who put himself at the front and worked really hard, Abdihamid Noor looked good as well. So I think the big favourites that we expected kind of all went through there. But it was interesting seeing how they played it. I mean, somebody like Jakob Ingebrigtsen, he's going to just, particularly recovering from the 5,000 meters, isn't going to figure, and he's going to wait at the back of from the 1,500. Sorry, he's going to wait at the back of the field. But yeah, it was fun, and I think it's really set it up for the final. It's not 5,000 is less like the 800 and the 1,500. You can't really predict the final from the heats.
And Aaron, we discussed yesterday, I think it was Jakob Ingebrigtsen having that, let's say, less than ideal performance on the 1500. Last night he seemed to be maybe a bit more relaxed, was also hit. What would you do in his position for the final? How would you prepare to get there with the 1500 he had?
For him, I would stay calm and focused. I wouldn't think about showing too much to anyone because, of course, we saw what happened in the 1500. So all eyes are going to be on him again, but many more people. So maybe this can be a chance for him to stay relaxed in the race and maybe keep it tactical towards the second part of it and really go for it. So I think we're in for a very interesting final. As Paula said, you can't really tell who's going to be winning or the front runner. As we spoke about yesterday, a lot of the events are a lot more closer now with everyone. So either way, it's going to be exciting. And even now, I'm getting the free chills because I don't know who's going to be on that podium or what anthem you're going to be hearing. So I'm really looking forward to another distance race that's going to be very exciting and really full of energy.
And last night we also had the women's 400-meter hurdles with Femke Bol winning the world title. She ran a 51.70, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday we had Roberts, who predicted she would go sub 51. How do you feel about that time she ran and the whole race?
I think also you have to take into perspective what happened in the mixed relay, because she fell hard and she hit her head, and I think it's phenomenal the way that she's bounced back from that and kind of kept the stride patterns safe through the qualifying rounds. And yeah, I agree in terms of, I think in the future she will certainly go below 51 seconds, but to expect that this week with all that's gone on and all that is still to come afterwards as well, after 3 rounds, and we've talked about the temperatures here, the humidity here, it is sapping. It's not just the actual race, it's going through the whole procedure of the warm-ups, the cool-downs, the travel in and out. Even the bus journey is dangerous, as we saw last night. So all of those factors coming into it, I think it's too much to expect that she would do that here, but maybe in the rest of the season now that is still to come.
How did you feel about Femke?
I thought the performance was fantastic. During the first 150, I was a little bit worried. I thought, okay, she's going a bit slower here, but then she kicked into her next gear. And when she came off that second bend, there was no way to stop her. I saw the other two trying to catch up, but yeah, there was no chance. I think she, again, meant business this time. She was fully focused, and I don't think she was willing or even had any thoughts in her head about letting that gold go. Like, she came back and made sure everyone knew who she was and who she is.
And we have many more finals tonight, 2 of them being on the 200 meters distance. The men and the women will be having their finals tonight. On the women's side, Sha'Carri Richardson stunned everyone in the 100 meters. Do you think she can do it again? There are many other names, Marie-Josée Tallou, Dina Asher-Smith. Is that another day for Sha'Carri Richardson?
Well, she's got lane 9 again, apparently, which worked very well in the 100. Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's interesting. I think her events may be equal, whereas someone like Dina would say that she prefers the 200 metres over the 100 metres. It's very key to the person, I think, when you've had that success in the first event, you're going in 2 events. I mean, we talked before about Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Sometimes when he's not had it go to plan, then he's performed so much better in the second event. So it can go either way. Sometimes it can give you the confidence to know that you can come through when no one's expecting you to do, as she did in the 100, and take the victory. But it might also be, okay, I have one now, so the hunger is a little bit less. And maybe it will be down to someone like Sharika Jackson, who knows that she can really run that 200 quickly and make amends for the 100.
Aaron, what will be your podium for the women's 200 meters tonight? How do you predict it to unfold?
You put me on the spot there. I would say Sharika first, Dina second, and Sha'Carri third. But I think it will be very tight for the 3rd place and the 2nd place. I think Sharika has this. She has the experience in it. This is her event. So I think she's not going to let anyone pass her. From that first time out of the block, she's going to go all the way to that finish line in that gold medal position. So we're in for another exciting race. Let's see how it all turns out.
And we have also the men's 200 meters finals tonight. Noah Lyles, before the championships, went with very bold statements about his times. What is your prediction, Paula, for Noah's time, knowing that he ran, I think, 1976 last night in the semifinals?
You know, I'm on the distance, right? Let's do. No, I mean, again, it's the pressure and the build-up of the week going to make them run quicker or slower than they have done in qualifying? But certainly the ability of that is there, not just from Noah, I think from others in the race too, and getting out really hard around the bend and then being able to maintain that down the straight. Maybe you could see 1960 something.
There you go. You want to be more specific? 1960 something or 1969? There you go. Aaron, your turn.
To predict the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, because of the 400 yesterday, it wasn't the fastest, I'm going to say it's going to be a 1985. It's going to be a battle.
And is that Noah's time or the winner's time?
The winners.
Very smart.
Yes.
We hope that you will be enjoying these finals tonight. Thank you so much, Paula and Coach Aaron, for joining us in this expert talk hosted by Nike and Top4running. And we'll see you around in Budapest.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.